Hi everyone, and welcome to your instructional video for our unit we call Brandy. I'm Brittany, and behind the camera today I have Lauren. This unit is a 27A Jayco Alante. We're going to go over the inside and the outside features on how to use this coach. Please take notes and at any time refer back to this video while you're on vacation so that you can look over how to operate the coach. The first thing we like to do when we get to the campground is first not slide out any of our slides, open up all of our compartments and get our hookups out and place them down on the ground here. This rear compartment has all of your electrical, and that's the first thing we would like to hook up at the park. This is a 30 amp motorhome, and if you need to have a step up to a 50 amp, let us know and we can get you those adapters. There's a little hatch right here inside this coach, and you'll put this through the hatch, and then when you get to the park, you're going to take this end and plug it into the campground side. Be sure that all of your major appliances are in the off position when you do this. So you'll go inside, turn your generator and everything off, and then come outside, plug this in, and then flip the breaker on at the campground for the 30 amp side. You'll know you have power coming into this coach. You'll get power to the microwave, okay? Once you have that completed, you can then go ahead and return on your air conditionings inside the RV. Next, we've got water. So this hose is going to be located in a compartment further back. And you've got a 90 on one end and a pressure regulator that's going to go on the side of the RV park, so at the post. So this side screws into their water fixture, and then this side here screws into the side of the RV. So where it says city water, you're going to twist this 90 on, and then water will start flowing into the coach. Now what you do with the knobs that are here, tell the water where to go in the motorhome. So these are like little check valves, okay? So you've got a light here, so at night if you get in late, you can turn this on so you can see all the switches. While the RV is in motion, you're going to be on dry camping. So when you pick it up from us, the settings will be just like you see here. Okay? And this is for you to use the pump while you're in travel. The RV will come full of fresh water, and that's how you'll be able to access it while you're in motion or dry camping. Then you've got a tank fill. So just by adjusting and putting it like this and then down, this will allow the water to come into this fixture here from your park side, and it will fill your holding tank. Now this holding tank is, let's see how full it is. It's big. It is 50 gallons? No, 72 gallons. 72 gallons of fresh water. So this is a really big tank for dry camping. So you don't need to fill it that often. But when you want to pull out before the next day, come out here, switch it to dry camping. You'll know it's full. There is a drain out at the bottom down below here, and water will start flowing out the bottom tubing. Then you know that you need to switch it back on to dry camping, and you can start driving again. Always stay with the RV when you are filling the tank. Okay, make sure you are with it. So let's talk about when you are actually camping at the park. So when you're camping at the park, you're going to be on this right here, which is city water. So all you need to do is just move the green knob this way, and water will start coming in. Again, it will not fill the tank. It will just bypass up into your water fixtures. Before you drive away, just put it back on dry camping again. Okay? You've got a hose on the outside here to wash off anything, some extra gaskets here for your water hose and your sewer. Turn this light off. Also right here, we've got some cable connections. So this is for if you get to the RV park and you want to bring a coax cable, you can turn off our antenna on the roof and just twist into here, and that'll give you the channels at the RV park. Okay? And you've got a little hole right here as well. This is for your water hose to go down, as well as the cable can go there. So I'm going to unscrew this. Okay. Now this has a pressure regulator on it, and it also has an instant hot water heater. So we'll go over how to use the hot water heater on the inside, but if you notice that you're not getting the hot water heater to kick on, it's because we need to take off that pressure regulator. When you're at a campground and the pressure goes down at night because everyone is showering at 7 o'clock, you'll need to make sure that you take off the regulator to give it a higher flow, okay? Next, we're going to go to the sewer. And I took this hose out of the compartments, but the hose is going to look like this. This is the gasket on it, and on one end, and then you're going to take this cap off here, making sure both of these are closed before you do. Take the cap off and twist lock this, giving it a quarter of a turn onto the pipe. Now, what you do with these valves tells the water where to go. So you've got the other end that has the elbow that goes into the hole in the ground at the PVC pipe or at a truck stop at a dump station. The first thing that we like to do is at a campground, if we're staying there for a long time, you've got a 1-inch pipe here. This is for your gray water. And then you've got a 3-inch pipe, and this is for toilet sewer water. So if we're staying in a campground for a while you're connected, keep this gray open and water will just flow out so that nothing backs up into the shower or if you're doing dishes. When it's time on the inside, you'll look at the gauge, and when this is almost full, be sure to close the gray and then release the black, letting the black drain out. This is all gravity, so we want to make sure that this is really full so that it has a lot of pressure behind it to push any of the toilet paper out. Once you're done dumping the black, you're going to go back inside, close this up, go back inside, and put about 2 or 3 gallons of water and soap down the toilet, and we'll show you that on the inside before you go to your next campground, because we want to make sure that we swoosh around the tank with some extra water so that we can keep the tanks clean and the sensors clean while we're going to the next location. The night before you bring it back or before you're ready to dump all of these tanks, close them both off, finish taking your final showers, use the restroom, and then dump the black first, dumping all the wastewater, close it, pull the gray, and this will rinse the hose before you store it back into the compartments. Make sure that both tanks are emptied before returning back to us. Your generator is located just behind the driver entry door. This is going to power all of the major appliances while you're in travel or boondocking. So in order to have air conditioning in the back of the coach, we're going to need to start the generator up. You can start it right here on the outside, as well as conveniently on the inside while in travel even. You have an altitude adjustment here. This is for if you're going to Colorado or somewhere where you think it's going to have higher elevation. Ours are set at sea level here in Houston. And when you come back down to Houston, make sure you drop it back down. Once you add the elevation back up, it allows the generator to get more fluid into it, okay? Because it requires more gas when it's going at higher elevations. It'll choke itself out if we don't. So drop it back down when you're finished. Next, there is a breaker just inside the generator behind the start. This is for if you forget to turn off any appliances or you overload this generator with too much power, it can trip the breaker. So if you notice your generator does have power, but you're not, or you notice it's on and you can hear it, but you're not producing any power to the inside of the RV, please come outside and check this breaker, as well as check the breakers that are inside the RV. We suggest that every 10 running hours that you come outside, take the cover off, and check the oil level on the RV. Be sure that the RV is totally level and that the generator has cooled down so the oil is cold so that we can get a true reading. So you've got a add section and a full section. It's kind of hard to see here because the oil's pretty clear right now. If it says to add, go ahead and add about 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, very little at a time from the extra storage. In the summer, these do burn through more oil. So in the summer months, you do want to make sure you check them every morning before you leave your campsite. This is a shared fuel tank with the engine. So again, 55 gallons. Anytime that you plan to be stopping and using this overnight, you're going to want to top off that fuel tank so that it can go the whole night. When you're finished, be sure to put the cover back onto the generator and lock it on. Next, we're going to go over the specs on this motorhome. It's a 30-foot motorhome, and the height on it is 12.5 feet. We do allow towing, and it does have a standard tow hitch at the rear of the RV here. It's a 2-inch receiver, and the capacity on this is 5,000 pounds. This is perfect for bike racks, or if you have a luggage rack that you want to put in the back, as well as we do rent bike racks that we can put on these for you. We have a rear backup camera as well as a right and left camera that comes on with the turn signals. This camera does come on automatically when you're in reverse, or you can manually forcefully put it on and then watch your tow vehicle behind you. The ladder here is only for maintenance. We ask that you please don't get up onto the roof. This is just to service the double air conditioning. When the air conditioning is on in the hottest part of the summer, you'll notice that water will drip down from one of the sides. It is just condensation. It's just going to go to the lowest point. Sometimes that's the front, sometimes it's the rear. But if it's about 100 degrees outside, these are producing a lot of condensation, so the roof is very slippery. We see the most damage to motorhomes at the rear of the coach. Okay, so swing really nice and wide and try to get gas at truck stops or places where you have a lot of room. I'll show you some of the storage compartments. This one has some nice shelves in it. Perfect for if you're bringing like some tools. We always suggest bringing some small tools to have with you. I'm going to show you these before going into the service things. Okay. And then this again is the pass-through one right here. And we do provide camping chairs. This has 6. This is the number of people that we suggest sleep in this motorhome. Just above that storage, we have the television. This TV does pull off of the wall and will rotate. And then you have connections on the back, which are just a standard TV connections. If you wanted to bring PlayStations, Roku, this is where you'll hook all that up. There are power outlets on the outside right here. And these are GFCI protected, so you'll reset them on the inside, and we'll show you where that is when we get into the interior of the coach. Speakers and a Bluetooth radio on the outside. This is perfect for tailgating, really big TV. We have a really big awning above us. Today, we do not have this out, okay? It's a little windy here, and we like to bring it in anytime it's windy. It is an all-electric awning, so it doesn't take long to bring it in. There's a switch inside the door here. Just press it in and out. We suggest that you never leave the RV awning out overnight, and if you're not with the coach. If it's raining, also bring it in. It takes about 30 seconds, and just bring it in every time. These are some maintenance things on the exterior of the coach. Hopefully you don't need to get into any of them. We're just going to go over some. So you've got the back of the refrigerator. Okay. Right now this is burning propane. You've got your hot water heater right here. Okay. And this does have an off-on switch in case you need to do a reset on it. This does burn propane. And then over one more, this is your furnace. Okay, so this is going to be really hot in the winter when this is on. Otherwise, this won't be used. Okay. At the front of the bus, we have our Easy Tag here. This is good for anywhere in the state of Texas. Beltway 8.99. Anytime you leave out of Texas, please stop and pay the tolls or turnpikes separately. The hood has 2 latches and just pulls straight down. I'm going to have Lauren bring you in right here. We will fill all the oils before you pick up, but this is how you access your windshield wiper fluid right here. So if you're on a really long trip and you do need to top it off, this is where it's going to be at. As well as we do have another one of those really big breakers, and it's right here. These are your batteries here too. If you need to be jumped off at any point in time, this is where it's going to be at. Then lift and lock it back in. Next, we're going to talk about tires. There is a tire monitor system that's on the dash of the RV, and they have these small buttons right here, and these tell you in real time what the pressure in the tire is. And it will alarm you if it's getting too high or if it's too low. So you'll want to stop, pull over, but as you drive, these update for you. Next, we're going to take a look on the inside of the bus. After setting up the exterior of the motorhome, we're going to come inside and we're going to turn the engine off, removing the key completely. The key must be removed in order to drop the jacks and slide out the motorhome slides, and the awning will not operate when the key is in the ignition. So we want to remove those keys, set them aside, set our parking brake, which is to the left of the steering wheel, and then we're going to go to the jacks panel. So we're going to bring you in tight here and show you, you've got the main power on button. You can see some of these lights glow when we turn it on. And then you're going to press and hold for 3 seconds the auto level. And when that's happening, you want to make sure that you stay really still inside the RV or have everybody exit, because that's the best way you're going to get a first level time. So you may have to do multiple attempts if you don't hold still. To operate them manually, you can use these buttons here. And then to retract before you leave, you'll want to press and hold this down for 3 seconds, and they will all automatically come up on their own. It's important to remember that you need to drop the jacks first before sliding out every time. And then when you're ready to leave, be sure the slides are in and then lifting the jacks up. To the left of the steering wheel, we have some switches. We have our controls for our mirrors. And then right here, you can see where you have the blind spot and then the regular mirror that you adjust. The blind spot needs to be moved manually on the outside. And then you've got your turn signals. Right here, you have your shade. This is for the front, and this is going to provide you privacy. So when you get parked up, put this down. You have accent lighting. This is across the dash here. And then we have a captain's light above us right here. So I'm going to leave those on. USBs right here. You have mirror heating for these mirrors. You have the generator starting and stopping from the captain's chair. So if you notice that it starts to get really hot in here and you want to power on that air conditioning, you can go ahead and kick the generator on, and then someone can go into the back and turn on the air conditionings. As well as if you want to stop it here, that too. You have your battery boost. This is a jumper cable that is internal in the coach. So if you happen to leave some of these lights on, it kills the dash batteries. You can jump yourself off from the house batteries in the rear of the coach. We have cruise control, and this is how you scroll through your dash. You've got your lights to the left here as well. And then dimming and adjusting the brightness of this screen are these on the side. Hazards are right here. Okay. This does have Bluetooth in it, and you have your mic down below right here for the driver. On the dash, you can see that we're showing our backup camera right here on the radio. So this is what it'll look like when you're watching your tow vehicle or when you're in reverse. I'm going to press the home button here. You can select rear camera if you want that to come on, or you can scroll over Bluetooth with your phone, and then you've got regular radio channels here, adjusting the volumes and changing the channels here. standard dash AC, this is only going to be for the AC vents that are for the captain's chairs. So this is not going to cool the rear of the coach. If you want to cool the rear, you're going to need to turn that generator on. This is just while the engine is on for the front 2 captain's chairs. Pressing these on to cycle the cold air and then adjusting everything, just like a normal car would be. You've got outlets here as well as some more on the passenger side. And then we've got the tire monitor we talked about. So this is your monitor, and this is going to alarm anytime that it senses that these are too high of pressure or too low. Okay, and on the back of it here, you've got a set button there, and this will mute it. So if you notice that it's only just barely raised, just a little too much, it's okay to keep driving. This is just kind of to let you know, hey, it's a slight warning. If you see it start dipping really low, like you've picked up a nail, you want to pull over and stop it. This is solar charged, so if you need to use the outlet, you can unplug this, set it in the dash there, and it will charge up. On the right side for the passenger, they have outlets on their side and USB. And then a desk that pulls out. They have blinds here as well that will dip down and raise, and then their own set of storage. Map lighting on the side. Press once for blue light. Press and hold to give yourself the bright light. The lever to make the chair rotate is on the right-hand side, closest to the window. And this latch pulls back to release so that you can swivel the chair up and down, won't move anything. So push it back and then go ahead and give it a turn. And then just rotate it all the way around. And then you can adjust the back as well. We have a table that sits right here in the center, gives you an extra spot to eat at or to watch TV and have coffee. After we've dropped the jacks, we're going to go to the middle of the RV. On this wall, we have where our slide out controls are. Slide 1 is for the living room area, and this is on the driver's side. Pressing extend will push it out, and retract brings the slide back in. And then you've got slide 2. This is for the master bedroom here. Be sure before you retract it that you fold the bed before trying to bring it in. We've got our generator here. There is a stop and a start button. When the light is on, that means the generator is on. To start it, you want to make sure that you turn the stop button to the down position and hold. Hold it for 30 seconds. This will prime the generator with the oil and the fuel that it needs. Again, this runs off your gas tank. When you've primed it, then you're going to go ahead and press and hold the start button. It'll flash a few times and then it will turn over and you'll see the red light will go solid. Once that happens, you can then let go. And this time clock here shows you how many hours are on the generator. We'll read this when you pick it up and then again when you drop off the RV. When this is running, you can then go to the air conditioning panel right below right here and turn on the air conditioning. There is one located here and then one in the back bedroom. You want to make sure that you turn off the air conditioning before you stop the generator because we want to make sure that there is no high power load on this when we try to start it or stop it. Make sure everything is in the off position. Okay? This generator will power the air conditionings, the microwave, and some of your other major appliances like your refrigerator while you're going down the road. Next, these are your level gauges. You've got your propane level. Again, we can see this on the outside. Your battery levels to the house batteries. Your house batteries power the generator as well as the lights. So the lights that are in this coach right now when the generator is not on is being powered by the 12-volt battery system. So these will be able to be used while you're in travel. If you don't have the generator on, you can still use the lights and use some of the other features. Fresh water, this tells you how much is in your holding tank. Your black, right now it's on empty, but this is for your toilet, your black water, and then you've got gray, which is your sink and shower water. Now the water pump is right here in the middle, and when you turn that on, the light will come on. The water pump is using the battery. So while you're driving, if you have to go to the restroom, just turn this on, the pump will come on, and then you can use the fresh water in the tank. If you notice that the fresh water is too low, we want to make sure that we don't have the water pump in the on position. It'll burn up the pump. Okay, so again, this runs on the battery, and you want to turn it off when you get to the campsite, because this is either in replacement of the water that's at the park. So in travel, turn it off when you get to the RV park. Again, as well, remember outside where you have those twisting knobs. If you forget, watch the video again, go back and look at those knobs, because if you try to turn this on but you don't have it in dry camping mode, you won't be able to flush the toilet. You'll need to pull over, go switch your settings outside, and then you'll be able to use it again. You've got tank heaters on this, so this does have what we call an Arctic pack. This is for if you are in cold weather below freezing. This will heat both of your tanks. So this is for your black and your gray. They're like little heating pads. So only turn this on when it's cold out. Hot water heater, turn this button on, and then we'll show you where that is in the shower area to turn on that hot water heater and adjust the temperature. But you want to turn this on first. This tells us where we're getting the power from, so there's no reason to touch any of these. Again, air conditioning right here, adjusting the temperatures, making sure that we don't kick it too low. It'll freeze the air conditioning. So we want to keep it somewhere around 68 or so. Okay. Down below here, we have the inverter, and I'm going to press the power button in. And this is for if we want to power the television or some of the outlets while we're in travel without needing to run this generator. So let's just say it's cooler out, it's like 70 degrees outside, and you don't need to cool the back of the coach, but you still want that television because you're gonna hook up a PlayStation or something like that on the TV. You wanna make sure that this is in the on position, and this will run off the batteries. So as you're driving the RV, the front will charge these batteries while you're in motion so that you can use some of the appliances in travel. At the entrance of the motorhome, we have a couple of our switches. We've got accent lights to the interior of the coach, interior ceiling lights. This is for your power steps. So if you want to have the steps lock themselves in the down position once you get parked, you're going to want to switch this on. And what it'll do is anytime you open and close the door, the steps will stay down. But when you crank the engine, the steps will automatically come back up, so you don't have to worry about coming back to this switch. Exterior lights are your awning lights and your porch lights. You've got your awning control in and out. Again, make sure the key is out of the engine when you're trying to operate this. If it's windy, bring it back in. You've got your main power button. This needs to stay on the whole time. This is for the batteries, keeps the fridge cool. If at any point in time this light is off by a child maybe touching this or someone running into it, it'll kill all power into the coach. But that's okay. You can flip it back on and everything will come right back on. So not a big deal. You've got right here, it tells you your battery levels, and this is also for your solar charging. The RV has smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detector located in the kitchen for any propane issues, as well as to the right of the door, you have a fire extinguisher. All of our kitchens come fully stocked. We have plates, cups, and bowls, as well as cleaning supplies. Up top here, some pans. And then we have all of the utensils. For a list of everything, just visit the website and we go over what's included: can openers, wine openers. Okay. There is a little table on top that can be removed, this little counter space. These get removed to be one really large sink, which is nice. For additional counter space, this pops up like that, and then to drop it back down, lift a little bit and put pressure on these brackets, and and then it will come down. You've got outlets on the side right here, as well as a power tower with the USB, and then you've got the under cabinet lighting. We have a propane cooktop, and then I'm going to let Lauren show you inside right here. Really big microwave, really big. So after lifting the glass up, I'm going to show you how to light the cooktop as well as the oven. So you push in and hold where the flame is, and the light will come on when you're in that lighting mode. And then you use the sparker here, and that's it. Spark another one, just like that, okay? And after every time that you fill propane, if you're on a really long trip, you're going to want to come back inside and light a few of these cooktops, because we want to burn off anything like air pockets that are in the line. If you don't burn it off, the refrigerator may not work because there's an air pocket. Again, the fridge does need to run on this propane. So into the oven, there is a light switch here on the side. And the oven, so these are the three that are the cooktop, and then this one on the right is for the oven. There again is another little button that says propane flame, so you got to hold this in for 30 seconds. Now, I've been doing this for a little while before we started filming, so it's going to start up really quick. So I use the sparker here, and you'll see at the far back of the oven, it catches a little flame. And then once that happens, you can adjust the temperature. So pressing and holding on this for 30 seconds, and you may need to, spark multiple times. I just had to spark because I already had done it once before, but sparking it a few times is normal. You're going to have to do that. These are very small, so adjust the temperature. Make sure you may want to bring it down just a little bit before you start cooking, because these heat up really fast. Last in the kitchen is the refrigerator. This is a double-doored refrigerator, so it's very large. Okay. And then you have an upper freezer. Both sides are a freezer on this. So if you want to put ice cream, perfect for that. So we're going to go over how to use the fridge as well as some tips and tricks. Okay, so the top where these coils are is going to be the coolest. How these refrigerators cool is from the top going down. So they always cool here first, and then they slowly go down. So we don't want to pack anything up at the top here. We want to give a lot of room so that the air can flow around and keep everything nice and cool. These take 8 hours to cool. So you are going to pick it up from us here at our location, and it's already going to be cold at the pickup. You want to make sure that this stays on the whole time that you are on your trip. If you turn it off, what will end up happening is everything from the top, all this ice that's up here, will end up draining. So we don't want that to happen. We want to make sure this stays on. The only other way that this will automatically turn off and start draining is if you are on level. So if you pick this up from us the night before you go on your trip, you load it up and then you go to bed that night. Okay, make sure that the RV is level, because if not, it will not cool. Another thing is you want to make sure you have plenty of battery to get you through the night. So we suggest that before you go to sleep, you come back outside, maybe run the engine for, 20, 30 minutes. Bring your battery back up pretty high so that this will run on battery and propane through the night. You've got gauges here at the top. This allows you to select the temperature. So just by switching this, you can change the temp. 9, obviously, being the coolest on this one. So I'm going to crank it all the way up. But if you notice your food starts freezing, you want to make sure you drop the temp in this. And then you've got the modes. So this tells you right now we're in auto, and this is where you should say most of the time. So it'll say auto, and then I say AC right here. That means I'm using the electric. So when it's on auto, it knows, click it again. When it's on auto, it knows what to do. So it knows if it senses the generator or you're plugged into 30 amps that it's going to run on electric. And on auto, if you turn those things off, it'll say auto and LP right here. An LP sign will come on. And that means that you're using the battery and the propane to keep this cool. Okay. You shouldn't need to select and change in any way. It knows to do it itself, but once you've unplugged, always come back inside here and make sure that it reads that you're back on to the propane mode. Turning the fridge off and on for any reason, if you need to do that, that's right here. There are 3 sleeping spaces in the living room, and we're going to show you how to drop down this over the cab bed, making sure both of these seats are slightly reclined a little bit. Pressing the latch right here where the seatbelt buckle is. This is a safety latch, and it'll allow you to drop the bed in the down position. Okay. This has a curtain over the top, and it has 2 seatbelt locks on the ceiling. In case you're traveling with small kids, this keeps them from rolling out at night. And there is another one of these mesh nets underneath the sofa for the back side of this so that they can't roll out on either side. And then here is your ladder attachment. This ladder is going to be located in the bedroom. And these are telescoping ladders. So they just go like this. And then they latch on here like that. Okay, so even with this bed in the down position, you can still get out, get through this hallway. It's great. There are little pins right here, and you want to drop these in the down position. And I'm going to push this one here. Okay, and then it'll allow you to lock this back up for storage again. Next is the sofa here. You've got tons of cabinet space above, and then a outlet right here for this person, and then a switch to turn off your lights. All of our windows have a roller shade that comes down. We suggest bringing these down during the hottest part of the day. It helps cool the campers down. When you want to make this into a bed, you just lift and press down to lower. This can sleep 1 adult or maybe 2 children on it. We do provide sheets to all of these beds, the master as well as all the upper beds. Now lifting them is tricky. Lift up a little bit. There is some storage underneath here, so if you want to put cases of water or some luggage, this is a good place for that. 2 seatbelts are on the sofa. And then we're going to go to the last space in the living room here, which is the dinette. There are 2 seatbelts on this side, as well as 2 seatbelts here. So you'll have, what is this, 4, 5, 6, 8 seatbelts. So this can seat a lot of people, but sleeps 8 with small children and 6 adults. Okay? So to drop this down into a bed, you're going to want to remove the cushions like this. And there is a shelf here where this dinette table is going to rest on. So you just lift to get it off of the wall, and there's a hydraulic, and then you just help it down and it will lower onto this shelf right here. When you want to put it back, make sure it's latched onto that back wall right there. Then you can place these cushions over the top of that. So this acts as the mattress. Okay. Push these back here. While I'm putting these back on, I'm kind of going to go over the seatbelts again right here, and just kind of this way you can get a better look at it. So Lauren's going to come around and show you the safety features that are on this. There are 2 child safety seatbelts. They are anchors, and this is a new feature of these motorhomes. This is a hard anchor to the metal framing of the coach. And this is where we suggest, if you do have a car seat, that the child would be with the car seat right here, forward facing, just like in your vehicle. There are outlets on both sides. So On each side here, you do have outlets, and these run on the inverter. So while you're driving, you can turn on this television and use the inverter. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go over some television features here. Get everything turned on. And this is a televator. So we've got a switch right here that will raise and lower this TV. So it is okay if it's on while you're in travel and it's up. It does have a bracket to support it. But if you want to view the window and have all the nice light, you can drop it down. So right now we are powering on the generator. And we're going to show you how to scan for local channels. So right now we are going to be using the over-the-air TV antenna, and we are not plugged into the coax cable outside. Okay, so I've selected input, and I'm going to scroll down until I get to antenna. And being on antenna, then I can go ahead and change the channels here. If I go to menu, and again, if I go to menu, I can select the channel guide. And then if I go to exit, it'll bring me back into the main home screen. Because this RV has an inverter, it allows the TV to run while you're just using the batteries. So if it's not hot out and you don't want to power on that generator for the air conditioning, you can still use the television. You'll just want to use it on like HDMI 1 or 2, and you'll want to be able to use your own devices. The antenna, as you're in motion, won't pick up good live TV channels. As well as these outlets here work on the inverter. So you'll be able to plug in, let's say, a computer or a PlayStation and pair these two together. Every time that you get to a new campsite and you want to get live TV channels in that new town, you'll want to go from the home screen here and toggle over to settings, and then scroll down until you go to live TV, select live TV, and then scan for channels. So you'll want to press scan. Make sure that you are plugged in, the antenna's plugged in, and I'll show you where that is up in the cabinet in just a moment. And this could take 2 to 3 minutes to pick up channels. Sometimes you'll get 60 channels and sometimes you'll get 2. It just depends on where you're at and how primitive you are. This is the remote that you're going to be using to go through the settings on the television. I'll show you where the upper cabinet is here. You've got some outlets here if you want to bring a DVD player to set inside here. This is for additional coax. So right now when the green light is on, that means that you're using the antenna on the roof. Whenever you get to the park and you brought your own coax cable that you're going to hook up in the wet bay, you need to power this off. So pressing this button right here will turn the green light off, allowing the coax from the park side to come into the bus. If for some reason you're not picking up a lot of channels, turn it off, turn it back on, and recycle the antenna to pick up more channels. Okay. And this is still scanning here. It's about 25% complete, and we're here in Houston and have 69 channels already. So this is going to pick up a lot of channels. While it's doing that, I'm going to show you here where you raise and lower the television. This is safe because it has a very strong bracket to ride with it in the up position. We do have Wi-Fi in the motorhomes. So while the engine is on and the bus is in motion, you will pick up a Wi-Fi signal from the code reader that is plugged underneath the dash. Whenever you turn the engine off and you're at your RV park, you're going to go ahead and plug their Wi-Fi password into your settings and use their Wi-Fi. So ours is only for while you are in travel, and theirs is for when you're parked. So now that you've completed this, I'm going to go back to the home screen and show you here where you can select antenna to pick up those local channels, or if you have something plugged into the HDMIs. Now let's go over how to use the restroom and the shower in this motorhome. It has a foot pedal, and by pressing down slightly, it will fill the bowl. The RV travels with no water in the bowl, so you want to make sure you put a little in there before you go to the bathroom. This helps when you want to flush, gives you a lot more water. We want to use a lot of water in the motorhomes. These are not like your normal house, so we want to make sure you push down. Once you've flushed, hold it for about another 10 seconds every time you go. The more water that you use, the faster it dissolves the toilet paper and less odor that we have in the RV. This uses a special RV special toilet paper that we put in here. It's rapid dissolving. We give you a few rolls to start, and we ask that you only use that toilet paper, or you can get it at Walmart if you need more of it, and nothing else can go down the tanks. So we do have cabinets right here where you can put any wet wipes, baby wipes, all of that needs to go in the trash can, and nothing else can go down into the tanks. When you're leaving the RV park and you want to put the chemicals into the tank, you'll push down, squeeze a little bit of soap in here, and that's where you would put that soap so it can travel while you're going to the next site and kind of swirl around a little bit. Next, you've got your lights here, your ceiling fan, and then your hot water heater. So make sure that you turn the power on at the main panel in the hall, and then come here and turn this on, and then you can adjust the temperature. So while I turn on the water, Lauren's going to keep you onto this panel, and we're going to show you how it looks when it's trying to heat. So right now I'm running off the pump, and you'll see that I have water coming out of my fixture and that my fan motor is starting to spin. After about 30 seconds, you'll see this flame, and you'll see the temperature start rising pretty fast. You will get boiling water within 30 seconds. It's pretty instant. Okay, and this uses the propane, so make sure you have propane when you want to use this. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. If you notice that you're not seeing that flame, but you have the water symbol and the fan, that means that you don't have a heavy flow. Okay, so you could either be out of propane or be having an error on it, but you'll likely have less flow and it won't kick on the propane. So again, taking off that regulator from the outside, will allow more pressure so that you get that flame in the center. If that doesn't work and it still doesn't have enough pressure, go ahead and fill your freshwater holding tank back up and run on the pump. So some parks just have very low pressure in the summer when there's just too many people, and you can use your own tank on the bus itself and using the water pump to give yourself a hot water. Okay. Cabinets right here. This is where all the toilet paper and soap is going to be located. And I'm going to get inside this shower here to show you. I'm 5'3" for reference, and I can barely, touch this. So a lot of room in here. They have a special glass holder. Okay. So before you drive away, be sure that this is fully latched. It sounds like that, okay? Because we don't want this to shift while you're in travel. Right here on the shower head, we have a couple of things to go over. They have a power safety to shut off the water flow. So let's just say you are camping somewhere that you do not have water access and you are running off of your own freshwater holding tank. You only have so much water. So you want to wet yourself down, and then you want to stop the flow of water. You want to wash your body, do your hair, everything, and then you want to flip it back on. That'll let you keep the temperature that you've set here the same the whole time without having to shut the whole water off and turn it back on. This conserves a lot of water when you are dry camping. Okay. Just outside the bathroom on the floor here, we've got your breaker box. And I'm going to push in here and pull this one out. Okay. So inside here is your breakers for the house, as well as right here, this little gray button is your GFCI reset. This is for all your wet outlets, bathrooms, kitchen, and exterior. If you notice that something isn't working, go ahead and give it a trip it off and back on, or you'll see that it's actually popped. Okay, sometimes things can be half tripped, so you'll want to check that too. If it's not here on the board, and you'll see on the inside, they're labeled as to what they are. And if it's none of these that's not working, you'll want to go outside at the campsite and please check the post. Okay, so where you plugged in your 30 amps, make sure that it's not tripped, half tripped. Go ahead and give it a full turn off and a full back on, and it's likely outside or on your generator. If you're running on the generator and you happen to trip the outlets out there, check those as well. You've got some small fuses here for the smaller appliances such as water pumps or lights. In the master bedroom, this is a king size bed, and we've got plenty of storage. This is where all your extra bedding will be. You've got 6 drawers here, and then over the master bed, you've got some cabinets there. I'm going to fold this bed up so you can see what it looks like. It just lifts and rests on top here. And when you want to leave and you're ready to start sliding everything in, this will slide over this. There's no storage in here. This is all of your tanks inside. On the back wall, second air conditioning, master lights, and then your TV in this room. And you've got the outlets below here so you can plug some things in. We're going to back up and kind of show you just above here the second AC unit. So one in the living room and one here in the back bedroom. These do have filters on them, and it's really important that on longer trips that you take these down, they just remove, and you wash them with a little bit of water, dry them off, and pop them back on. If you go somewhere that's really dusty, this can get clogged and it will stop the flow of air and it won't allow the coach to get nice and cool, okay? So we want to make sure that we clean these when you're on long trips. This is the air vents. So when these are open, it allows it to drop the air the fastest straight below you. But if you want at night to close these, and it'll push more air through the ductwork. So if you want it in the bathroom or anywhere else throughout the coach, you'll need to close those and then push the air where you want it to go. We have a washer dryer combo. This is all high efficiency only. We suggest bringing liquid and not pods. Liquid helps dissolve faster, and it takes very little to power these. Okay, and then you've got all of your settings here. Some drawers underneath. Anytime that you're using the washer dryer, we suggest that you be fully hooked up to a dump area and have your gray open. You want to make sure that that gray valve outside is in the open position, because as this water drains, it needs somewhere to go and drop out very fast. Okay, so you should be set up having that open for your showers and your washers, and then it'll all just drain out without backing up into the coach. You have a really nice privacy door here in the center. This is a hard door, and it's got a little clip here. And so this has a hard door to give you privacy if you are sharing this coach with someone else, and it gives you a nice solid piece of wood. Okay, lock this back up before you travel, but when this is closed, you can get changed in here and give yourself a little bit of separation. Okay. Next, we're going to just go over what some of our favorite features are in the coach. So I'm going to let Lauren go first and let her tell you what she loves, which I think it's this.
Yes, my favorite thing about this is this dual fridge. It's very large. You can fit a good amount of food in here. Just keeping in mind that you don't want to overstuff. But this is just a really nice size for a family trip in the summertime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is really nice. So my favorite thing is I like that this is, to me, a really great couples unit. I think it gives you the king bed, double ACs. This is perfect for like small families with like one other child. It has a really good floor plan. Like the floor, honestly, the floor plan is just my favorite one that we have. This setup works perfectly for a lot of different families. So we hope you'd enjoy your video, and we can't wait to see you at pickup.